slash um, notable books. You'll find it on there. Um, and yeah, that's been a bit of a highlight for us.
In the chat.
It's always that frantic lead up to it. When do we make everything live? And now it's the just getting all the graphics and other things prepared and getting everything set up for when people can apply to host one of the authors.
Wow. Interesting. This MC5 oral biography has piqued my interest.
Yep.
That could do well. We'd like to book the author of this book about life, leadership, and everything in between. Who's this person? Gretch something? Let's book her. We'd like to book her, please.
I don't even know if she's going to be participating in the tour yet. So
My kid.
we my that actually came up in a staff meeting before I came to this, and even my boss said, "Yeah, I haven't heard yet back from the top dog,"
Yeah,
but
it's a great list.
yeah, um,
Oh man. Oh, this is so cool. Felicia B. George is great. Plug for our podcast. We interviewed her. Oh, hey, whoa, Bonnie Jo Campbell, plug for our podcast. We interviewed her.
yep.
Yeah, go listen to our podcast. Our live. Um, Terrific. Anyone else with something to share? Anything currently in your mind? Like what's on your desk right now? What's in front of you? What are you working on today? Peter, you're literally looking at your desk. What's going on over there?
Oh, well, I don't know if I always share this. I'm actually chief of Melcat here at my library, so
Oh no.
I today is invoice day. I get to collect one, go out, be a collections agency. So sour, dirty work, but
Sounds
it
sounds
pays the
real
bills.
fun.
That's what I'm up to.
Okay.
Hi, Stephanie.
Great, great. Hi, Stephanie. Um, Leslie has in the chat working ideas for Black History Month displays. Has anyone else started getting into that? Does anyone else have any staff in their library currently working on something like that? I know that here in our library, we have a spreadsheet where our librarians are literally planning ahead what their monthly displays are going to be. And even I, as marketing coordinator, can look at that stuff and see what's coming, see what might be on the displays. Anyone?
Well, on Friday, I certainly did a current events display with mostly focused at children. So I have like climate change, immigration, um, laws, civics, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just kind of like, hey, here's information, the correct information kind of thing. So I was happy about that. Did a MLK display, Year of the Snake, trying to just do other things. Yeah.
That's right.
All while, not being too on the nose.
Yeah. Without looking at a calendar, I think the Lunar New Year is the 28th.
I think so. That sounds about right.
You raise a good point, Stephanie. Are we going to be the bulwark against misinformation by putting out correct information? Is that not necessarily our jobs? Well, that's the business we're in. We're in the information business. Are we all as librarians or library connected people going to become the reliable source for correct information?
I mean, we certainly can do everything within our powers while still staying within a line to be able to, do that kind of thing. And, if you have a trans kid that comes into the library and is feeling really scared and they just want some help, some information, like I feel like it kind of is on us to at least guide them towards a source that could potentially help them in some way.
Excellent, excellent. Well said, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody have any?
Next. Hang on one moment.
Anybody have any Black History Month events or programs coming up? story times or book clubs or anything? Or even just content that you're getting ready, you know, you can even just do book recommendations in a social media post too. Anybody have their minds toward that right now?
Oddly enough, our library has, I guess I'm not telling on anyone, or I'm not going to point any fingers, but we've leaned away from those kind of distinct ethnic celebrations.
Mhm.
And once again, I'm not a librarian, so I don't have to deal directly with it, but it is noticeable. I don't think we acknowledged yesterday at all. And that's sometimes smart with the politics that's out here. But I like the idea of the social media post, but that would probably be something I would have to champion personally.
Mm.
Here at Bloomfield, our librarians are usually responsible for, you know, social media posts. I work in circulation, so I do a few here and there regarding card sign up and Mailcat and whatnot. But I'm really trying to be charitable and not step on anyone's toes if that's not something they want to program. Um, it's kind of a touchy subject around here, so I'm challenged as to how far I should push it,
Mm.
I don't know if anyone else has had that experience.
I mean, it can vary from community to community.
Yeah. It's almost like it's pushback against it, though. And I'm not saying that in particular, but anything that, and we're real sensitive to political talk around here, very extra overtly sensitive. It's the most, for good reason, it's the most sensitive workspace I've been in that toward politics, because like I said, it's a slippery slope into an argument any way you go. We weren't I'm not surprised, but we weren't pressured by the book bannings and all that kind of thing. So that's a good thing. We do, like Stephanie said, we do have information about the various subgroups relating to DEI, but even DEI itself, I think, is getting some pushback now at the beginning of the year. I guess it's not the hot catchphrase this year, so they're not promoting that as much as they did the last 2 years. So. Interesting time. Interesting time.
Has anybody here, I mean, it's not Michigan, but anyone been keeping up with what's going on in Idaho?
Uh-oh, what's going on in Idaho?
I mean, I'll just throw it in the chat.
All
But,
right.
which opens it up to is our book bans are challenged front of mind for anyone right now. Is it anything that's floating around your office right now? Is it being discussed by your board? Is that
Oh, I see,
or
ma'am.
or is it just on your radar and you want to like air your anxieties in a safe space? We're here for you. And welcome to everyone else that just came into the room. We're here talking about anything and all things marketing, anything that we're currently working on, anything that we're having trouble with, anything that we want to have a nice brain trust with, or frankly, anything you want to brag about, because you can't do it around the water cooler because you don't want to sound like you have a big head. You can do it here because we're going to cheer you on, and we also just want to hear your idea, and we might want to copy it too. So like, I want to hear what you got going on. Guys, summer readings coming up. I know it's January. Let's talk summer reading. Someone in this room, tell me about summer reading.
Ooh, I'm so excited for summer reading. Like art is like my jam. I'm gonna like do all kinds of art stuff all over the place. Like, oh man, I'm so excited.
Great. What is that gonna look like? Like, what's your role or position at the library? Are you just gonna go crazy and like get like Harold and the purple crayon and just go all over the library? Just tell me.
I mean,
like,
I'm the marketing coordinator here, so I mean, obviously, I mean, we are all basically that. But So I had two ideas. I was thinking about bringing in some of the local students for the high school or even maybe some of the younger grades, and then doing like an art day where they just come in and just make art, and then we just start putting it all over the library to start getting ready. And then I had some ideas. I wanted to do like this sheer rainbow type fabric, like red, orange, yellow, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We have a mezzanine second floor, and I was going to do something where it looked like a paint type rainbow was coming down and then going into like a paint pot on this square shelf. Like, I know it sounds weird to talk about it, but I have a feeling it's gonna like really come together and just make everything really colorful and bright and everything in here.
That's awesome. I will say that I am in the early stages of booking a student art show
Nice, nice.
for the first week of June.
We
And
have one every spring where we invite all of the grades, not just the high school, and then they come and like each student, well, not every student, but most of the students are able to submit like one thing, and then we put that all up at the library. It's very cool. I love it.
excellent. Yeah, I think the hope is that between now and June, we're going to ask the art teachers to encourage the students to just get ready to pick out literally their own favorite piece or their best work that they've made across the semesters, and we'll show it off. And hopefully it's colorful because that's the summer reading theme. So hopefully I don't get like 80% grayscale photography. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll take what we can get, at the end of the day, I think it's just showing off the students' works and giving them that platform is just the best part of the day. So no matter what,
Well, even during summer reading program, like we have a whole bunch of arts and crafts events planned and stuff like that. I mean, we typically do that every single summer, but like this summer especially, we're really going to lean into that come and craft at the library type theme.
Anybody else have summer reading on the mind this week or next month? Or do you have a timeline or anything like that?
Yes. I'm Andy from Tecumseh District Library. I've attended this a few times. Usually my schedule changed, so now I can do it live. So that's kind of cool.
Excellent.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. I've got a lot of good information from this group actually that I've shared with our marketing committee. I've only been through summer reading once. I got hired full-time last June. And last year was I thought it went well, but it was just I felt like I was a new teacher again, and I was like one step ahead of the students, like, because I was hired in June. I think our summer reading started like June 10th or 14th or something like that, and didn't really have a lot of time to plan. Didn't really have any materials, and it went, it went okay. This year, there's already a lot of collaboration going on. We have with the children's librarian, who's also new, and then the adult programming, who's also new, and we have a new director. But we want to go big. We want to come see is typically like our programming is not as ornate, I guess, as Adrian Library. Like they have, jugglers and magicians and clowns and, ice cream, and we have raffle tickets for, we for reading. And
Sure.
So we're definitely going to go bigger, and we do like to have the adults and the teens and the children, the younger children, like doing something at the same time if possible. And doesn't have to be the exact same thing, obviously, but we do like it to start at the same time and at the same time have like we're planning a bigger celebration, at that time. So, and I went to the Color Our World you know, Zoom, got a lot of good information from that. And I think it was like an 8-hour Zoom initially. And then, you know, there's just a lot of resources coming from the state, I thought, that
Mhm.
were very helpful. So sorry for my monologue. I hope I get the part.
Well,
But
you,
that's,
you,
we're definitely in the planning, like
right.
yeah, I feel so much more comfortable going into it this year than, I mean, last year I didn't even have the job. I didn't even interview for the job until, you know, the spring. So this is a whole different experience.
Anybody in here been through several summer readings? 3, 4, 2, 75? Thoughts to share, or even advice for Andy? Advice for each other?
Get as much
Breathe.
as you can planned
Breathe.
ahead as early as possible.
Yeah,
That too.
We're actually already planning for summer reading 2026.
I know
yeah,
my old job when I used to work here for Kent District, summer reading would end. The planning team would take a month off, and then by late September, early October, they were already planning for the following year. But they were planning system-wide programs for what's now a 20 branch system. But still, even then, it can be helpful getting a lot of that all knocked
yeah,
off. I took that same mentality for the virtual programming that we do here at the Library of Michigan because it's just a lot easier getting it all knocked out instead of having to frantically try to figure things out midway through or in the like weeks leading up to its kickoff.
that seems to be the direction that, thank you, Adam. And it seems like that's the direction that our director is also going in. And I think the person who led our director search, his name's Brian from Kent. He mentioned that too, and I don't know if he had the analogy or somebody else did. It's like when they paint the Mackinac Bridge, they get to the end and then they're just starting with the, you know, the beginning. I mean, there's never an end to it.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
know, that's a pretty big, I mean, you're looking at a pretty good chunk of time. For us, it was, you know, well over a month
Mhm.
of, you know, maybe not daily programming, but like consistent programming. I mean, it's good to invest some time in that, you know, for sure. And I do appreciate, as a former teacher, I appreciate having the time to collaborate with the children's librarian, the adult programming, the director, that as a teacher, that was stuff you did kind of off the clock. You know, that was not, that was like bonus, you know, stuff. And so it was difficult to plan things that far in advance. Any other advice? Our director said, for example, that our new director that uh, um, book now, like as far as magicians and, you know, whatever you know, people you guess you have coming in, because everybody's kind of doing this at the same time. He also mentioned that sometimes you can, like say Adrian or Onstead or somebody like that around us is doing a having an act of some kind, say it's a magician, that we can share them, you know, like they can do theirs in the morning, we have ours in the afternoon, like kind of make it a package deal. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So my biggest piece of advice from a marketing standpoint is
Yes.
to start reaching out to your local businesses and seeing who might be on board with possibly providing any kind of prize support for you. If you have like a local ice cream shop or something, they
Mhm.
might be able to donate some coupons for like a prize bag. Pizzas, I know Domino's does not, but sometimes local chains, they'll come in for a free slice if you read 10 books or whatever. Like, work with all of those people around your area to really build a community sense of engagement for your summer reading program. And then as far as like prizes go, not every library does prize support or like does a reading log and then you get like a prize. But what we do here at GLADL is each grade has a different log. Let me grab one of these really quick. I'll kind of show you. So this, well, of course it's going to be all blurry. Well, I'll show in a second when I fix that setting. But I create reading logs for every single grade. So for
Okay.
this one particular, this is 1st through 6th grade, they have to read 6 30-minute increments to be able to complete a log. And then when they get that finished, they bring that back in, they turn it in, they get to put a little coloring character up on a big wall that we have here.
Okay. Oh,
And then
okay.
they get a prize bag that has coupons, has little trinkety toys, has sometimes an allergy friendly candy or something like that. It just depends on what the log is. And the prizes that we get less of, that are more valuable, are in the higher logs, because not every kid ends up completing those logs. So we have like five tiers that you can do. So it's a whole thing. I can send you these graphics if you're curious to see kind of how we structure it. But yeah, like as they said here too, like start planning now, start ordering your prizes now, start contacting folks in your community now. They may feel like it's too early for them, but it's not too early for us because we're like in the spring, we're in the thick of it.
Yeah. That's all great advice. I'm trying to type my email in here and I'm so new, I don't want to screw it up. And put it in the chat.
And if you have any specific questions, you can email me. It's marketing@gladl.org.
GAL?
Grand Ledge Area
Oh,
District Library.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have a very supportive group of businesses, but again, like I was walking in there, I think we were giving out prizes, mid-July, and I was walking in there, like July 7th. Hey, we're looking for, I was professional about it, but we just didn't have a lot of lead time.
Yeah.
And they provided some amazing packages. Like it was not, nobody ever turned me down. Nobody ever, and they went above and beyond. I suggested about a $25-ish, package, and they provided at least $50 to $75. It was not a tough sell. So I think
Yeah.
if we got them like not so much on the spot, and of course we do buy stuff from those businesses and put everything on on Facebook and social media, other social media, and on our website that's where the prizes came from.
Mhm.
But to be honest, a lot of them just seem to like to do it.
Yeah.
It's just, they like the positivity. So thank you very much, Stephanie.
Do y'all have like a local Bigby branch in your
Yeah,
area?
we have a place called Musgroves, which is there's one in Adrian, there's one in Tecumseh. It's right behind us. The kids love it. It's like Bigby,
Okay.
but it's not a chain, but it's very similar price points. And the kids, we have a middle school really close to us, and the kids often go to Musgrove when the weather's not minus 20 degrees. And so that when they provide a basket of stuff, it's like a really nice treat. There's a chocolate place called Harvest Chocolate. And then there's a craft place also that gave us, or kind of a hobby place that gave us stuff. And Big Boy supports us
Good.
routinely without being asked. And I just, again, being so new last year and being new to being a teen librarian, it was a very awkward and imposing thing. And now, you know, I've seen these people 3 or 4 times now, and they know I can come, I'll come in and buy stuff from them for our other programs. So it definitely helps.
I was gonna say for just everybody in the group in general, for those here today or for those watching at another time, look into your local Big B branches. Our local Big B branch has been super cool for providing free drink tickets for basically any time that I've asked them, whether it's an adult event, we needed some coffee. They provide little carafes. I think that's the little box drinks. Summer reading program, they've donated tons and tons of free coffee drinks for the adult readers. Yeah, and local ice cream parlors too. They want to see the people come in. So even if it's giving a free ice cream cone, and then your parents coming in, the parents are like, "I want an ice cream too," like they're gonna make that money. Usually a small child is not going to an ice cream place by themselves. So yeah.
I agree 100%, for sure, with everything you just said there. They like the goodwill of it,
Well, yeah.
but it
yeah,
also
it's
is good
that
for business.
community.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How
Anyone
about
else?
you, Jeff? How are you preparing for summer reading?
Oh, we're just getting the ball rolling. Our programs are coming together right now. We have our kickoff plan. We have the date scheduled. We've got the ice cream parlor nailed down. We're working on year 2 of an ice cream flavor. So that should be pretty good. And
Oh, there it is. Okay,
Yeah, there it is.
nice.
I've got concerts and art exhibitions planned throughout
Thank you, Stephanie.
August, September. I'm already thinking about October at this point, as far as things I'm booking. It's crazy.
Are you guys doing the Color Our World theme?
Yes.
Or, oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
You don't have to do the
Right.
to do the theme from the CSLP, is that correct? I always
Mhm.
get the thing wrong. You can do your own theme. There's certainly a lot of libraries that do their own thing and are very successful for it, but they provide graphics in the program and a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
prizes that you can get that are on that theme. So it kind of works for us. We do both. We'll get those prizes, and then we'll take their theme and use their logos, but then kind of branch off of it. And I'll do my own graphics because I don't always love what they have, especially previous years. Their graphics have been a little dull in my eyes. So I used something that was way more vibrant and eye catching than what they had. And it's not a knock against the artist or anything. The artist was fantastic. It's just I feel like vibrant colors brings people into a place. So
Yep.
says the goth with the tired eyes. So
And I always say, don't be afraid to talk to your local artists if you can find a way to connect with them. I don't know if that's going to be through your community's Facebook forum, or if you do have a local art gallery in town. Ask if they want to become a collaborator and help you create custom original art for your promotion, which we're lucky enough to have that be our situation here. But obviously we're close to Detroit, so obviously there's a lot of activity over here.
yeah, you've had some great art.
Yeah, all by local
Did-
artists.
Didn't you guys just do a candle too?
We just did a candle and an enamel pin. Pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
thing. We still have the candles. They're selling like, well, they're selling like candles, but they're also selling like hotcakes.
Huh.
I like the idea where you commissioned someone to do was that you with the in-house calendar for just staff? That was a good idea also. It came out last month. I don't remember who. but
Oh,
I
here
think that
at
was you
Ferndale?
guys. Yeah, that was a good idea also.
Oh yeah, it was just a pet calendar.
No, that's, hey,
Yeah.
something where the staff can, join together or team build or whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, excellent, excellent.
If morale is down in your office, guys, just talk about your cats.
Yeah.
Just show someone your cat or your dog or your bunny or your parakeet.
Bunnies, that's our go-to. We're always
Right.
promoting bunnies and squirrels for some unapparent reason. So, but they're furry and fun. So,
Anybody in here in the time that we have left, I have a couple other things I want to get to. Thinking about not even that you're making hard decisions about it, but are you keeping your eye on the vibe and the mood about social media in general? Because depending on where you might be, here in Ferndale, where we have, well, the community that we have, it's becoming very anti-meta around here. Let's
Yeah.
just say. So, anyone else thinking about that or having those conversations float through your desk yet? Thoughts about Blue Sky, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, etc.
It's funny as I'm posting to Blue Sky right now. Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't super love what's going on with all of those things right now. So I definitely have been trying to make the switch to be more active on Blue Sky. Unfortunately, just like Meta was at some point, it's just a matter of time and building a new audience and trying to encourage people to switch over to there.
Sure.
So really all that I can do, all that we can do is just keep building our presence there. Um, so yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep posting to Facebook until it like is no longer viable to do so, just because that's where the majority of our patrons and followers are at the time.
Mhm.
I stopped posting to TikTok for the library accounts a while ago, just because I didn't know what was going on, and now I'm just kind of like, I'm not, I'm keeping the account, but I'm not gonna post anything further.
Sure.
Yeah, and then I don't even do anything with Twitter/X. I haven't done anything with them for about a year now, so it's kind of not great.
Mhm.
It's a rough time to be a marketing person, let me tell you.
Sure.
So we haven't made a decision yet to move to it, but one thing that may lead us to do it is that Blue Sky was made a approved social media outlet from the state of Michigan's uh e-resources and state marketing team. So because we're only allowed to be able to use certain programs that are approved, above us. But with that having been made available, it does at least give an indication that both, maybe the Library of Michigan eventually will move to it, but I'm sure other state departments and agencies are also having those same kind of conversations of seeing that as a potential platform to go to. And usually if you see people in, you know, upper places looking to potentially do that, then you'll eventually start it filtering down elsewhere.
I had never
Curious
used.
with the
Sorry.
state, at the state level, what is your current approved things?
I can actually bring
Or is
up
that not you?
well, I mean, I can bring up what the list is on
Oh.
the intranet that we have.
Oh.
Because there's a I can put it in the chat in a second. But I mean right now the ones that we specifically use are Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, but there is like a full I don't know, it's like a 20-page social media guide that the state of Michigan has put out so that all because there's like what 120, 130 executive level offices, agencies, and departments that potentially would have their own accounts. So that's why they have that all set up for us. So it can be a little bit weird when you want to be like impulsive
Yeah.
to do things, but at the same time, we don't have the luxury of necessarily doing that. Like for me to put a press release out, it usually goes through at least a 2 to 4 week long process just for it to get approved. And like, what's
Wow.
wrong with my writing? Well, other people above me want to have their say on it.
Wow.
Tough crowd.
Well, they want to make sure that
No,
the
no, I understand why.
institution's voice is consistent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, our marketing committee chair is being pulled in several different directions right now, and her dictum to us last month was to go rogue with their social media posts. So no one asked what that meant, but oddly enough, we haven't done anything differently. So I think we're pushing the envelope about as far as we can push it already. So
I mean,
I
that's
mean,
kind of like my thought on things, like push it as far as you can comfortably push it without getting pushback.
the only thing that I wanted to do, and I haven't done it yet, was to use, and you're probably much more of the expert on it, but use um use licensed music. I think if you use under 15 seconds at a clip, you won't be in trouble with legalities and whatnot. Does anyone know offhand if that's the
I
case?
thought it was
Or
5 seconds.
it's only 5 seconds?
Uh,
How do the TikTokers get away with it? They're just not making money off of their thing per se, or because I think those are 12 seconds, or
Well, I
they
know
used
on
to
my
be.
business account, I just recently had a license strike revenue thing against me.
Oh
So
wow.
I was like, yeah, I use that song. So if you want a revenue share, then you take that and you have that revenue share. I'm not even
and
gonna fight
and
it.
that was my opinion too, but I used to do videotapes, and so the person I gave it to was unlikely to. I'm sorry, videotapes. There were these things you actually, instead of posting to all the social media, you would hand someone a videotape, and we used, licensed music all the time. And my go-to was, before I got here, was, yeah, if you want to sue me, that means I'm famous enough for you to have seen this video. Then and that was immediately cut off when I got into the marketing here at the library. So I try not to be too willy-nilly with doing things like that they would get sued for revenue sharing or anything like that.
I'm
So
not like a TikTok expert by any means, but it's my understanding that artists basically upload their music to the platform. And if they don't, if somebody uses their music without their consent, that's when they can go
gotcha. Yeah, that
and do
makes
the
sense
takedown.
because they're actually getting more popular by offering it like that, and
Mhm.
hopefully
But
go viral or whatever.
again, not legal anything or like super knowledgeable about that. So I honestly, whenever I do library stuff specifically, I'll usually try to just do like a lo-fi song or
Right.
something that's like a little bit more
Muzak or
royalty free, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
user like
yeah.
available. So I generally try to not do anything that's like a trending song. And I know it kind of defeats the purpose of TikTok, but like I never really used TikTok in that like, oh, we gotta go viral kind of
Right,
sense. And I
right.
know it's not the right way, but that's just how I used it.
No, it's better safe than sorry because
Exactly.
libraries would be easy to go after. We look at the Milwaukee libraries
Oh,
postings all the time just to see what's going on with the hipster crowd.
Yeah, or Fowlerville, who's amazing with
Fowlerville
their
too.
stuff.
Okay.
Are they still? Because Storm's in East Lansing now.
Oh, well, again, I haven't been on TikTok for a super
And
minute, so
um I actually just interviewed her for our library's podcast because
Nice.
that's a mini series that we're doing where we talk to library people. And unfortunately, she doesn't have her hand in their social media yet, so
Hmm.
we'll see. But she's doing other cool stuff. Yes, TikTok. It was gone for 5 hours. What about, oh, this is something I want to bring up, unless, I mean, we'll get to like a last minute roundtable, but I don't know if anyone else saw this, but if you're looking for content ideas, you could always prop your library as a third space because Starbucks isn't letting people hang out. But we are letting people hang out. Don't forget about us. Come on in.
That's where you might be able to tie in some of your more local books, or not bookshops, but coffee shops. They might be
Right.
willing to donate some coffee to your space.
Yeah.
Yes, now that our new director says it's okay to have drinks again, that's good. That's a good dovetail for sure.
Fact,
That is-
Thank you, Jeff.
someone's already hopping into it. Check out what's going on in Texas. Is like, hey, only Ferndale's local media was doing this. That'd be great. But they can. I'll just poke them with a press release. So that's fun. That's cool. Anybody in this room? This is a random question, but some other libraries will do winter reading challenges. I don't think any. This is too small of a room for that sample size, but I know that we certainly don't. Or any
We-
other. Go ahead.
We are doing a winter reading challenge for
Oh.
adults.
Mhm.
So just like the kids log that I just showed a second ago, I made an adult type version of it
Mhm.
so they can get in on it. And I didn't write up the credentials, but if I remember correctly, it was they have to read 5 full books out of our 19 or 20 genre challenge or something like that. So, and then for every book they read, they get to go to our prize bucket, essentially, just kind of like the kids do. But they get like adult prizes that we got from the dollar store or whatever. So we got like little spa candles and bath salts and stuff like that. And then if they read all 5 books, they get entered into a grand prize drawing, which we have some Meyer gift cards and stuff like that.
I want to go to your library. Stephanie. This is great. This is really good.
Well, anytime you want to schedule a visit,
Yes.
you know.
That might be, that Grand Ledge is close to Eaton Rapids, right?
Yeah, I think it's
Relatively?
like 20 minutes.
Okay. That might be on the agenda. My in-laws live in Eaton Rapids. I visit them often, so.
I mean, like, come on over, but like, visit Cattle, visit DTDL, like visit
Yes.
all of the libraries around where you're at, and just kind of like get a feel for what everybody is doing, because we all kind of like
Yes.
borrow ideas from each other, and we all kind of work in tandem to just have cool programmings. So I can't say that like, oh, I did all these things all by myself. Like it's
Yeah.
a group effort, and I've been working for a library for over 6 years now. So it's definitely been, like an accumulation of different things. I
Well,
can't
it sure
take all the
is.
credit.
No, it's not, but it's just, we have a lot of very nice things going on here, but we're in transition with the new director and a lot of new staff. I mean, a lot of people, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but our children's librarian and myself new to being librarians. So,
Mhm.
I mean, we're open to change because we are change,
Yeah.
basically.
Well, I imagine your community is probably going to be happy with that kind of like
Yeah.
wave of refreshment and new things. So
They are.
definitely reach out to your community too and see
Yeah.
what kind of things that they want, because they
Yeah.
might not want an adult reading program, or they might want something else, like that's
Well,
who's your
they definitely
target
are not
audience.
shy about telling us what they want.
Well, that's
That's
good.
for sure.
It may be bad, but good.
No, it's good. It's good. it's a we have a core group of mostly adults, some teens, but they're very active, and not just in the traditional Friends of the Library type way, but I've had many conversations at the reference desk with people who have been coming here since they were little kids, and they're elderly, and they've seen a lot,
Yeah.
and generally they do like what we're doing. But Jeff, did you have another thing that you wanted to say? You said, or something about roundtable, or
Yes, exactly. I wanted to
We
touch
couldn't-
on social media drama. I wanted to touch on
yeah,
third spaces, and I wanted to touch on winter reading. And now here we are. It's free for all time. Anyone here who still had anything that we didn't cover, anything on your mind you wanted to throw out to the group?
I just wanted to say about the social media
Yeah.
that so like when I got here, there was teen social media with Instagram and Facebook,
Mhm.
which very few teens use anymore. Facebook, we all know that to a degree. And then there was our main Facebook page, and that basically crashed, the one we were using. So our couple thousand users now those are gone, and we have to, we're at like 100, a little bit over 100 now. But anyway, we're kind of going the opposite in this, I feel like, and I don't know if it's a bad thing for our community. Instead of me posting stuff on teen and having the children's librarian post stuff on children, we're posting stuff on the main Facebook page and using the teen and the children's one kind of sparingly, just so that we get kind of a common voice. So we're all posting through the main Facebook page. We haven't really talked a lot about Blue Sky. I am on Blue Sky. I like some aspects of it, but you're looking at a very limited sample size, I feel like, right now. And I do feel like if people are going there because it's going to be more friendly or whatever, it's not necessarily. So, I mean, some of it is, but I'm seeing a lot of the same patterns and that I saw on X, Twitter. So I don't know where we're going to go with that. But right now, I think we're focusing on getting our main Facebook page going and really transitioning the Instagram more towards a library Instagram and away from the teen Instagram. To be honest, the teens don't use, and we also use Discord for things like Teen Book Club and things like that. But the teen engagement is not high, even with social media. And so we'd like to get to those kids' parents for things like chess club and teen book club and game club and stuff like that. Sorry, I didn't mean for the long monologue, but that's what we're doing. That's
Well-
what is kind of trying to consolidate, I think, a little bit more, at least right now, to try to reach our audience. We have a person on our committee who's very good at marketing, and she's analyzing our reach and what we can do to increase that.
Marketing to teens is just difficult in general. We have tried so many different things. We've done taste test challenge. We've done bad art night. We've done it's been a while, but like we had a manga and graphic novel club. We tried D&D for a while, and as much as I pushed and as much as we tried to get it, they just don't want to come in. And when they do come in, they kind of just go in our youth in our YA section, and they just kind of keep to themselves, and they're oh, I'm at the library. It's not cool to be at our library, but the teens that come in and are regulars are they're pretty good, I guess.
Yeah.
We have some troublemakers, but for the most part, they actually want to be here. But we have noticed we have to market towards their parents, so their parents are bringing them in, not
Yes.
they just don't come off the street and go to a program typically.
Thank you for that reinforcement.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
will,
that's us. How about you guys?
granted, technically we only have 3.5 minutes left, but anyone want to go? Not to be like a radio host and give you a time limit. You have 30 seconds. It's NPR in a short amount of time. But yeah, for what it's worth, teens anecdotally tell our youth librarians at outreach events that they watch us on TikTok all the time. They may be too cool to actually give us hearts, but they actually see us and they do think it's, silly in a dumb kind of way. And when it's during the school year, the best, I mean, it depends on where your library is. We happen to be nearby schools. So if we do our programming after school and we have food,
Yeah,
it's a win. And if we do it during the summertime and it involves arts and crafts, it's a win. Otherwise, it's crapshoot. So yeah, that's my advice there. And yeah, you don't need multiple social media platforms anymore. That was mentality from 2009, 2010, 2011, when social media was still bright and shiny and new and fun, and we thought we could just make a page for anything. But you can just all keep it centralized. You don't need a youth page.
okay, I think I agree. I mean, I didn't at first, but now that Jordan has, our director, kind of pointed that out, like, why are we diffusing this?
Yes, as someone who used to work for Jordan, I was the one who told him that. So
And I think he said that. So perfect.
all coming from me. Anybody else? Any thoughts? It's been great to spend the morning with you. I appreciate you all.
Yeah, I'm glad I could interact. I'm sorry if I talked to you. I was a little chatty. I won't do it all the time, but I just was excited. I go into our marketing meetings and I share what we talk about here or what I see a lot of times. So
I mean, I have lots of thoughts on a lot of things that are happening right now, but we don't have time for that. So
Yeah.
maybe next month we'll see how things are going and hopefully not as bad as right now, but
We should be back on February 18th with Kelly. Thank you to Southfield for posting this and recording it. And I'm sure Kelly will keep you posted in that thread with the recording this. Everybody, have a good rest of your day.
Thanks,
And
And
Jeff.
stay warm, for
Everyone.
goodness sake.
bye.
yeah,
And stay positive. You're
Yes.
doing great.
trying.
Yeah.
You're all doing
Stay
great.
alive.
Thank you.
Yay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you, Andy. See you, Peter.
Yeah,
See ya.
Jordan speaks very highly of you, by the way, Jeff.
Oh, thank you.
Very highly.
Tell him I said hi.
Okay, I will. All right. Bye.